Hi everyone, so today I want to share with you what I have for hostas in my garden. We got a heavy rainstorm the other night, so I don't want to go walking in the flower beds and doing any planting, but I thought I'd show you the hostas that I have in the garden. And look at the size of this leaf. It's bigger than my head. Go figure. Anyhow, I'm going to include a little bit of footage from last year's video where I split the hostas here and talk a bit about it. There was a lot of work done to split all those hostas at once, and that was a big issue because I really should have did it sooner, but I didn't. I left it until I did that video, and oh boy, was it a lot of work. It took a long time to split all those hostas and get them done, and I'm glad now that I did it, but I still have a few more that I need to do. But let's talk about what I have in the garden right now. I'll show you the ones I split and how they're doing, as well as talk about the different kinds they are and what kind of growth they prefer, soil conditions, etc. So before I start talking about the individual hostas that I have in my garden, I just want to mention that hostas are extremely poisonous to dogs, cat, and horses. Rabbits and deer do love hostas, so beware of that. Some are more slug resistant than others, the same as disease resistance. But overall, they are a gardener's friend. They are beautiful in the garden. They do extremely well in the garden, and most of them are tolerant to sun and shade, but others prefer more parts shade, the full shade. And you'll find the ones that are more of a chartreuse green will prefer a lot more sun and do better in the sun because it brings the chartreuse green color out more in them. All right, so the first hosta I want to talk about is my most recent addition to the garden, and that is Hosta First Blush. And the reason I like this one is because it has red veining and red stems. I think it's very unique. And on the edge of the leaves, there's a bit of a red tinge. I got this one for Brex. It is in its, well, the first year was asleep, so it really didn't do anything. This year, it's the creep, so way bigger. Last year, it kind of sat there when I planted it and developed like one leaf. So this is a huge improvement. And hopefully next year it will leap. That's the plan. So I can divide it. I think I could divide it now, just looking at it down below. It looks like it has two sections on it. You can see there and there. So I think it could be split, but I'll give it another year. Anyhow, this is from Brex. It prefers well-drained soil. The height will be 30 to 60 centimeters. It's going to bloom mid to late summer. It prefers part shade to full shade. I have it actually in shade in the morning, full sun in the afternoon. It's good in zones 3 to 9, so a wide range of zones. It will tolerate all kinds of soil, you name it, clay, even clay, which is impressive. They are kind of heart-shaped leaves. Yeah, I guess so. And they fade from red to green during the growth in the summer. So as they first sprout, they're more red, and as summer continues, they turn a little more to a green tone, and they're going to have a medium growth. But I really, really like this one just because of the color of the stems and the veining. I think it's very unique to other hostas that I have. This is Hosta Undulata. I actually have two of them in my front garden. It's green with white centered leaves. It's variegated. Variegated hostas are very attractive to gardeners. Gardeners love variegated leaves, and this one fits the bill. These are lance-shaped leaves. They're deeply channeled. They're mid-green shade of leaves. They have the large white center on them, almost a creamy color in my opinion. Some people call them white markings. I would just call them like a creamy centered leaf with a green, a mid-green tone edge. They're going to grow 36 inches tall, 18 inches wide. They're going to have purple flowers versus lavender. They like well-drained soil, so they're loving it here. They prefer part to full shade. I have it in part to full sun. You got to watch for slugs on these. Slugs love these. They're good in zones 3 to 8. And of course, per usual, deers and rabbits love them. But they did not get a hold of these in my garden this year. Woohoo! There's the first one there. And the other one here would be getting more shade because it's underneath lilies. They are beautiful and they stand out in the garden big time. They're quite striking. I think I should have it in a better spot so it stands out more, but I do love it. This is a big one. This is Hosta, Sum and Substance. It's considered a giant hosta. It can get 4 to 6 feet wide. You can see it's quite large here. The video does not do it justice, but she's a biggie. I have never split this one. She doesn't get overwatered. She gets a lot of water though, but not overwatered. So she might even be bigger if she received more water. She is in part shade, sun to part shade. So 4 to 6 feet wide is how wide it can get. Then get 2 to 3 feet tall. It's definitely a chartreuse green. I just love the green. It's a solid chartreuse green throughout the leaves. They're really hard or oval shaped leaves you can see here. That kind of shows you how big the leaf is. These grow well in hot climates. The more sun they get, the brighter the chartreuse is. So they will tolerate full sun. They're one of the largest hostas. They're the most slug resistant as well due to the waxy leaves. And they're very tropical looking. Aren't they gorgeous? I am just loving this hosta. Definitely highly recommended for the garden. This is Hosta Sieboldiana or Francis Williams. Now, just a reminder, a number of these hostas have multiple names, but this is particularly the type it is, the Sieboldiana. This is the most popular hosta because of the large variegations, thick, puckered leaves. There's a strong vein in them, and the leaves are waxy, green-yellow edges on the leaves, which we can see here. Definitely yellow, not a cream, but they would be more of a pastel yellow, I would say. It will bloom white flowers. It likes full sun to part shade, which you can see right now. It's getting some dappled shade sun. It flowers May to September. It is hardy to minus 30 degrees. It'll get 60 to 80 centimeters high and 80 to 100 centimeters when full grown for width. I have never split this one, and you can see it is up against the other hosta here, and it is huge, and it should be divided. There's multiple plants in there. This is definitely a keeper. And this is the time of year to do a hosta video because there's not a lot of damage to them yet. There's no storm damage to them, and the slugs haven't gotten to them or any critters yet. So I'm glad I'm doing this now so you can see the full spectrum of what I have in my garden. Hosta Blue. This is Sieboldiana Elegans or Elegans. It's a large bumpy blue with gray leaves. It blooms white flowers and it'll flower July to August. It likes well-drained, part or full shade, which is what it is in. It's in part or full shade, mostly full shade over here. It's at the back of my flower beds. It is very slow to grow, so I split this one last year and I'd cut most of the leaves off except for small ones, and you can see this year it looks like it's probably starting to creep a bit. It's good in zone 3 and up. The height will be 50 centimeters, width 100 centimeters. This guy will get big. I really like this one. I like the color of it, and I like the shape of the leaves. And the rabbits did not get this one, which is wonderful. So it's doing well. This is Hosta Albo Marginata. It's a compact variety, green leaves with white margins, as you can see. It's very bright and beautiful, stands out in the garden bed. It's an all-time favorite amongst gardeners. It's hardy, zones 3 to 9. It likes part sun, shade. It'll even take on some full sun, which will just make it come out with more of a chartreuse green. Height will be 16 to 20 inches on it, and width will be 12 to 18. And this is far bigger than that. I have never split this. That's a way bigger than that. So if you leave them in place for many, many years, they get very large. In this case, not so much high, but more wide. They're going to bloom in midsummer. The flowers are going to be lavender. It does have another name called Funkia, some weird names out there. It's one of the variegated foliage. That's why gardeners like it. They love the variegated hostas. It has a mounding habit, as you can see. There's multiple plants in there, perfect for division. And it tolerates all sorts of soil types. So this thing likes well drained. It'll tolerate clay, you name it, which is excellent for a garden. This is why it works in multiple zones, because of the different soil types. I just love this hosta and I can't wait to divide it. And it looks great with the Oscar Peterson rose behind it. It really reflects on that white edge. This is Hosta Guacamole. It won Hosta of the Year for 2002. It's a dark green hosta. It has a dark green edge, chartreuse center, almost a blue tone to the edge. I split this plant last year and I have multiples of it now, and it's doing really well. It's in its creep year, and you can see that it has not had any slug damage or rabbit damage to it. It was probably too small, so the rabbits did not get it. It has large overlapping mounded leaves. It's very bright. If you put it in full sun, it'll even be a brighter shade of chartreuse. It can be grown in sun, shade, part sun. The leaves are more of an oval shape. It will have pale lavender flowers when it blooms midsummer. Height is 24 inches, and width it can expand to 54 inches when it's full grown. This is a stunning plant. And last but not least, this is Hosta Ambrosia. This is a cousin of Hosta Guacamole. It has yellow-green leaves. Right now they're in the shade. They look really dark with a blue edge, which you can see. They are a large hosta, powdery silver layer on leaves. These guys are actually fragrant and they have lavender flowers. They like part to full shade, which it is in. I would say this is full shade over here. They're going to get 60 to 85 centimeters high. They're going to grow medium to fast. So I split these last year as well, and you can see they're doing really well. I would say they're in the creep stage, and maybe by the end of summer they'll be really large again. They seem to be growing quite fast. Like I said, they're related to the Hosta guacamole, and they have many names. Some of them call them Francines or Sienna. I really like this one. In the shade, the foliage is super deep, which is a nice contrast to the chartreuse colors in the larger hostas. The sum and substance, which is back there. I really like how they complement each other, and I like how it complements the coleus in front of it. When those coleuses spread more, it'll be a really nice mix. And I have 3 of them in a row here. You'll see this one, and this one. So those are the hostas in my garden. I wanted to share that with you. And today I could not do a planting video because we got a good half an inch or more rain. So I didn't want to walk in the beds and pack them down. So I figured it was a good time to share with you the hostas I'm growing. So what I'd like to hear from you guys is I would like to hear what hostas you grow and what hostas you recommend to me to add to my garden. If you could put in your comments the ones that you recommend and what you grow and love, that would be great. And if you have a picture, even better. And then I can keep those in mind and add those to my gardens as I grow my hosta collection. Because as you can see here, I have lots of room for more hostas, which would be great in this bed. They do very well over here. And once again, these were all split. This particular bed is brand new. I split all these last year, and they didn't do much last year. And I'll link the video from when I split them. And actually, I'll include some clips in this video just so you can see. And they have just done really, really well. They're definitely a gardener's friend. So don't forget to leave me a comment and let me know the hostas that you recommend. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, everyone. Bye. So that's the end of the video for today. Don't forget to share in the comments what hostas you grow and what you recommend for me to include in my garden. So as I go on the hunt for more plants in the future, I will keep an eye out for those hostas because I want to expand my collection and keep building those shade gardens. And so I'm looking for suggestions from you of what you really like and what I should include. Just add that to the comments. If you have a picture, even better, that'll help me with my search for hostas when I go out and look for plants. And I still have this darn leaf. I have a hard time parting with it because it's just so pretty. And look at that shade of chartreuse. Isn't it gorgeous? Good Halloween mask, eh? Thanks for watching, everyone.